Let me create a new project for today. Let me also share my screen with you guys. And new Java project. This will be Java October 5th. And then I hit next. Remember, we go under libraries, class path, add external jars, and hit finish. After that, so please let me know when you guys have made this far. I'm looking for certain items. I thought I had them somewhere over here, but I can't find them now. Strange. Just 1 minute, guys. Okay. Okay, I'm ready. Let's call this class. Oh, cool. Just in time, Jack. So Jack, we just started the project and I'm about to create the very first class. So you're just in time. Let me update the attendance sheet. Okay. So we're going to create a class called anonymous handler without lambda. And we're going to be a public static void main. I'll be a child of application class from the JavaFX application. Okay. Do you guys remember the lambda expression? Who remembers the lambda expression?
You do like an E and then a dash with an arrow.
Yeah, E is not part of the expression. A dash and an arrow, that's the operator. And then it could be any object so what is the main purpose of having a lambda operator? Anybody remembers that? Why do we have lambda operators? Typically to help us not have to code the body and the definition of the only overridden method. It just help you save from having to write so much code. So in less amount of code, you can do exactly the same thing that you would do with more code. So this is the example where we will be creating a handler. Okay. So we'll be creating our H box. If you remember, that creates a horizontal box. And then once we create our H box, we will be creating our scene and adding the H box to the scene and adding the scene to the stage and set the title and the whole 9 yards.
Did you copy that over?
Yeah, yeah. Because we have done this code in the past. So right now I instantiated the buttons, but I didn't add them to the H box. That's why when I ran it, you can't really see anything. Now we will add to the H box dot get children dot add all. Oh, comma. So this is what you should see on your screens, what I'm seeing on my screen when you run this code. Give me a green check when you guys have made this far. And make sure to put line 30, which is the launch in the main.
I'm having trouble getting started.
Getting started what? We're trying running it.
No, with the whole program.
Okay.
When I go to browse the superclass,
Can you did you added all the packages in your project?
I have before.
You have to do it every time. All new projects. So can you share your screen with me, please? Okay, hit cancel. And then go right click on your project, which is Java 1005. Is that the project?
Yeah.
Yeah, delete that project. And then hold it. Hit back and check the checkbox. Delete project contents on the disk. No, there's a checkbox right in the middle of the check. Yeah, cool. Now hit OK. Okay, now go to File, New, Java Project. Okay. Okay, name your project. And after that, hit Next. Then hit Library. Click Class Path first. Then choose Add External Jars. No. Hit Cancel here. Add External Jars. Yeah. Now select all of these and click OK. Like Open and then hit Finish. Did you do this step?
No, not that one.
Okay, exactly. So you have to do it every time you do it. Every time you
Okay.
start a new project, you have to do that step. So go ahead and type a non-handler without Lambda. Then click Browse and type application. Here you go. Got it. Okay. Click OK. Don't forget to check the main and then hit Finish. Then I will share my screen again so you can catch up. Jack Lear, you're doing good? You're fine? Okay, cool. And for those of you who are done with all of this, I want you to write event handler for each button, separate event handler, separate event handler for each button without using Lambda. So for those of you who are done and are seeing this guy, go ahead and write the separate event handler for each button without using Lambda. And in the event handler, you can pretty much, let me also write here, what do you want, what I want. In the event handler, simply display a system.out statement or system.out. In each handler, use system.out dot println to display an appropriate output. So Jack and Victor, let me know when you guys are caught up. And once you are caught up, you should concentrate on writing the events.
on the event handlers, are you just wanting like text of what the button
Yeah, yeah.
is? Okay. Awesome.
Okay, so 2 people are done. So what is the event handler like? Well, this is something that we did last time as well, guys. So this would be a good example. Here you can see that we create a new action on the button. And then we simply call the event handler action event, something we did 2 weeks ago. And then inside the handle event, I'm displaying some output. And then we simply replicate the process 3 more times, 1 for each button. And let me know when you guys are caught up with creating this. As you can see, when I clicked on my button, the output showed up in the console. I didn't write it for the open, close, and print, but when you do that, on each click, you will see the output coming in the console. Yeah, probably. Yeah, might have done it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did this. I just wanted to do this as a review. Just so that you guys are in the habit of doing this stuff. Otherwise, you know, it's so easy to forget. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi. So Robert, Victor, and Jack, 3 people Jack Lear, I mean. 3 people need to give me. Okay, Jack Lear also got it. Okay, Victor is the only one that needs to give me a go before we can move on. Okay. Now let me add a couple of properties here, which will help you improve the look and feel of this. One of the property for HBox object is the set spacing property. So try again, but after adding that one property, and you will see that your items are a bit spaced out. The other property I want you to try is hbox.setAlignment. And we control that with the help of position, which is a different class, that's center. And when you run it, you will see that it is center aligned within the HBox. Okay. Now let's save this example as anonymous handler with lambda. So let me rename the class. And I want you guys to change this, the event handling part, so that the event handling is now done with lambda. So using lambda. And give me a green check when you guys have accomplished this. So each one of your event will now be changed to something like this. The rest of the details will stay the same. Okay. So again, give me a green check when you guys are done making these changes. So everybody got it? We're just waiting for Victor. Okay. Now let's create a brand new application. It's a new class. We're going to call this one calculation app. Again, application, JavaFX, public static void main, finish. In this example, I will be taking a slightly different approach. I will be taking an approach of writing an event handling method outside of the main, where I want to do all the event handling, and call that event handling method in the main. We have earlier on done with the help of unnamed inner class, named inner classes, but all inner classes. But here we will do it with the help of a method. So we'll be writing some kind of an event handling method. Force, we're going to call this one calculate force. That'll be my method. So public void calc force. And since my objects will be used in multiple methods, instead of creating them inside start and instantiating them, I will be creating them outside. That way, multiple methods can access them. Okay. Text field, txt mass equals to new text field. Txt acceleration, txt force. So these are my objects that I will be using in my start method and in my calculate force. Did we work with grid pane before?
I think so.
No, okay. Okay, then let's do that. Let's try to use a grid pane as our layout, which will allow us to nicely place these items in a grid form. So we'll use grid pane. Grid pane. Grid pane. Oops. Okay. So when you're adding items to the grid, you usually add in rows. So row 1, which is actually row number 0, okay? And it has columns which start from 0. So remember, everything here starts from 0. So our row 1 will be 0 and the column 1 will be 0. So the syntax goes like this. To add an object to the grid pane, so you write grid pane dot add, and then you write your object, then you write the column, and then you write the row. Okay. Is it possible to create an unnamed object in Java?
No.
No. And the answer is yes, it is possible to create an unnamed object. And you guys have created it several times. For example, in my grid pane, I want to add an object such as a label, and the label will not be used or will not be changed after that one line. So I can create an object on the fly like this. This is called an unnamed object. There's no name to it, but the object will be created. Is that something that you guys have seen in the past? Something like this? Not exactly like. For example, you might have created something like this in the past, right? This is an unnamed object because you didn't write the left-hand side, you only wrote the right-hand side. So it's considered to be an unnamed object. Objects that are only needed for one line and are not needed after that, we create unnamed objects. Sometimes we do that in data handling, file handling. I think we might have done that in file handling. But anyway. So in the first row, first column, we have the mass label. In the first row, second column. Okay, this is the second column, first row, because column comes first, then comes row. So we have the text field. Okay, so now we will set the scene and the stage. Let's see how things look like at this point. That's all we have, a label and a text field. So that's basically the progression. So now, as you can see over here, how things are nicely aligning in a grid as opposed to going horizontally or vertically. or going haphazard, they're all coming very nicely in the respective row and column. I purposely did not add anything in row number 3 to show you that if you skip a row, it will not complain. It will just stack it on top of the previous row. So now I'm adding the button in row number 3. And as you know that my button actually has, my button row has only one item, which is the button. So it is also possible for you to add only one item, and you can choose to skip columns too. So for example, if I say that I want grid pane dot add, and I want to add my calculate button in row number 2, sorry, row number 3, column number 2. So column number 2, row number 3. So you will see that the button actually lines perfectly in the second column and the first column is skipped. It won't complain about that either. Now we'll add some gaps. Grid pane dot set h gap and grid pane dot set v gap. And as you can see that it just adds a bit of a gaps. Okay. Now let's scroll down to where we have our calculate force method. What do you guys think the logic for this program should be? What are we trying to do here in this program?
multiply mass times acceleration.
So we are trying to calculate force through the formula of mass times acceleration. So what are the two values that are coming from user?
Mass and acceleration.
Okay, and then we are calculating it into force, and then we are putting force back. Okay. Do you guys remember how to read a value from a text box?
You can use the get text method.
Get text method, very good. Okay, now get text method will return a value of what data type?
String.
String. And in order for me to multiply, I need it to be converted to a
Integer.
integer. Integer will not work with decimals, right? So better off working with double. Okay. So I got double mass, double dot parse int, parse double, if you remember that method from Java 1. And then we got txt mass dot get text. So we got mass here. And we get an acceleration. So we got the values from the user. Now double force equals to mass times acceleration. So we are able to calculate the formula without a problem. Now, how can I push the value of force into the text box? Force. Because force is double and text box can only accept strings. So first of all, which method of the text box will help me put the text in the text box? Which method of the text box will help me put the text in the text box?
Dot set text.
Very good. So it's working on the same principle as Java, the getters and the setters. Dot set text, okay? The incoming value of force is of type double. So double class has a built-in method to convert a double value into its equivalent string value. So that takes care of my calculate force. Now going back up in the start method, I'll have my event handling done here. Event handling. The event handling will be that I've my calculate button dot set on action. Instead of writing a local lambda expression, it will rather do this, that it will say, okay, lambda expression will still be there, but instead of writing the local body, it will just call calc force. So calc force will be my event handler. So that's how you can just create a method and simply delegate the lambda to call that method. So here I put in a value, another value, and hit the calculate force to get the answer. Again, give me a green check when everybody's done with this one. So the property I just set for the text force will make the force box uneditable. Prior to writing that, you could easily change the value in the force box, but not anymore. Okay, this will force you not to be able to change the value. Okay. Now, if I want my entire grid box to move in the middle, just like H box, I could do the exact same thing. I can say grid pane dot set alignment to position dot center. And see, it moved right in the middle. And the force box, you cannot do anything about it. Next, I want each one of my text fields to have the number right aligned in the field. For example, here, notice the mass has right aligned, but acceleration has left aligned, right? So this allows me to change the alignment. The bottom right allows me to change the alignment to the right-hand side. And I will do the same for all of them. And they're all right aligned. So let me, again, when you guys are done with all these changes and are able to, and ran it, please give me a green check. Victor, you're doing good? Just catching up? Okay, you're fine. Okay. Okay, guys, what I would like everybody to do next is go to the Blackboard, go under this week, under this week's unit, and under this week, you will find a little icon. Everybody see this icon, the globe, the golden globe? You right click on this icon and save this image somewhere on your computer. I'm saving mine on the desktop. What's the whole purpose of doing this? The purpose of doing this is that next I want to change my application's icon from this default to a picture of my choice. Okay, so what I will do after I download this, I will drag this icon and I'll drop it on this SRC folder. So, and I'll copy file. So it's right here. I have the icon.png in my SRC folder. Let me know when you guys are ready so that we will move on to our code part. It's the primary stage that has a built-in function called getIcons. dot add new image. The name of the resource is icon.png dot to string. And notice the icon changed. Okay, give me a feedback with a green check if you're done. Victor, you got it too?
No,
You still working on the code?
I got the code. I just don't have the. It doesn't show me the image.
Did you put the image in the source folder?
Yeah,
And did you drop it on the SRC folder? Are you sure that you didn't drop it on the project or under the default?
I dropped it in the SRC.
And when you run it, you don't see the globe?
No,
Can you share your screen?
sure.
Okay. 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 Oh, you still need to organize your imports. Can you scroll up, please, to your imports? Okay. Delete line number 1 because you imported the wrong package. Okay. Try to organize your imports again. Yep. Choose the second one. Right. Finish. Now, let's look at the syntax. Just wait. Primary stage that get icons dot add new image. This dot get class dot get oh, you're missing something. After the double quotes, after the PNG, you have the double quotes, right? Outside
Yeah.
of the parentheses, not all the way through, only the parentheses closest to the PNG. Outside of that parentheses, put dot, period, to string. Yep. Yeah, it needs to be converted to a string because the add method only understands strings. Okay, now run it. Oh, you still have an error. Can you close this? Oh, you can see the icon, but let's see the error. What's the error? Oh, I think you call it TXT force. Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Thank you.
Yeah, hold on a second. Why do you have an error in the Lambda file?
Because I haven't finished it.
Yeah, open that.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't see your screen right now.
I'll finish it when we go on break.
Do you have the code?
Yeah, I took a picture of it.
Oh, okay, cool. That's fine then. Okay.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay. Now, remember I told you guys when we started our class today that we'll be creating an application where you will be creating threads and they will be going for a resource. And then we will figure out what went wrong when multiple threads go for one resource, for the same resource, and then how to fix that. That will be our focus next. So this will not be a JavaFX application. So we will create our new class here. The name of the class is account without sync. Public static void main. We'll create a named inner class called account. This is just an inner class where we will interact with to work with some money, which will be shared between multiple threads. This will be a private static class count. Private integer balance equals to 0. So I created a get balance function, which will allow me to return the current value of balance. And I have a deposit function, which will help me deposit an amount to increase the value of balance. That's basically what we are doing here. Okay. So integer new balance equals to the incoming, the balance original value plus the incoming amount. Next, I want to delay the process through a sleep. Maybe for 5 milliseconds is enough. Oh, I missed the object. Interrupted exception. Okay. And after the sleep, I will change the value of balance with the new balance. So the whole reason of sleep is that when I'm sharing a resource between multiple threads, I want the threads to wait while one of the thread grabs the value. So I just want to create some kind of a haphazardness there. So that some are coming and grabbing the value, others are waiting, the next people grab the value, then some are waiting. Like that, this process will continue. And we will create an account object, which will be shared by multiple methods. So that's what the purpose of account object is. I'll give everybody a minute or so to complete this, and then we will move on to the next class that we will create. And I'll explain why we will create that class.
I can hear her come down the stairs, walk down here, and then she comes up behind me, barks at me, and then runs up the stairs.
Like a
She's done it
little
like
child.
she's done it like 6 times.
Oh my God, just like a little kid, right? When they're missing
Mhm.
you, they come and do this kind of stuff. Does it plays around with you a lot?
Oh yeah.
Probably it's missing you.
Yeah, I got her. I'm watching her on a little camera right now, and she just keeps back and forth, popping down here like every 10 minutes.
How big? How big is it?
Probably 25 pounds.
Oh, okay. Not too bad. And how tall?
No. I'm not sure how tall.
Okay. Cool.
She's fully grown, for her breed.
Oh, and which one do you have, by the way?
A Shiba Inu,
Oh, okay. Now,
just a black and tan version of Oscar's profile picture.
aha.
If she comes back down here, I'll try to turn on my camera.
Okay, it'll be nice to see it. Yeah, see her. Yeah, cool. Okay, guys. So now that we are done with this one inner class, which is responsible for giving the balance, and it is responsible for depositing an amount in and changing the balance, we will create a class which will be responsible for creating the threads. And those threads will be the one that will act upon the account. Okay. So we will create a inner class called add, oh, not inner class, static, private static class called add penny task implements runnable. If you remember this from last week, that we implement runnable interface, and then we override the run method of the runnable interface. So what we will do when the thread runs, we will call the account object and we will say deposit 1 penny. Okay. So that's why we created the account object outside, because that account object will be shared by all the threads. So that is the resource that all threads are sharing. Again, before I get to the main, did everybody understand what we're doing so far?
Somewhat.
Any questions?
I don't think so. Sure, I'll understand it more once it's all running.
Okay. So we have one class that will have the threads and another class that has a resource that the threads will work on. So the resource is an object of account type called ACT that is responsible for getting the balance and is responsible for depositing the amount. Okay, now in the main method, before I get to the main method, let me make sure. Is anybody still coding? You can give a green check if you are still coding. Not? Okay, cool. So we will now use a built-in class, Java built-in class called executor service. Executor service. What the executor service does, it actually let you create a thread pool. So it helps you create an entire pool in which you can put all your threads and it will do all the management work for you. You do not have to do any management work. So multiple threads working at the same time could run into a lot of problems. So you don't have to worry about any of those problems. It takes care of that. Okay. Now is the time to generate that thread, those threads. So what we will do is we will create a loop that will run for 100 times. And every time the loop runs, we will execute a new thread. What's the name of my thread class? Add penny task. Okay. So I'm generating 100 threads in a loop. And as soon as a thread comes live, what does it do? It runs. And what does it do when it runs? It goes for the deposit method of the account object and puts in a penny. Okay, everybody with me so far? Okay, don't run it yet. We are not done yet. Okay, so as soon as the thread comes live, it automatically calls run. The run calls deposit on the account object and deposits a penny. Now what we will check for is this. I want the executor object to shut down. Okay. So initiates an orderly shutdown in which previously submitted tasks are executed, but no new tasks will be accepted. Invocation has no additional effect if already shut down. So that's what it does. You cannot run more threads now. Okay, so it's in that process. While, so now I'm running a loop. While not executor dot is terminated, as long as it's not terminated, keep the loop running. Why do I want to do that? Because my job is to check balance only after all threads are gone. No thread should be in memory when I check the balance, because if it's in memory, it may be updating. Okay, so that's why I have that empty loop on line number 30 I8, because all that loop does is keep running, making sure if executor has any threads to run, the loop will keep running. When executor is done shutting down all the threads, the loop will terminate. So far, so good, everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, a question to you guys is, if I deposit 100 pennies into a balance which was 0, what will be the end value of balance?
It should be 100.
It should be 100, right? Technically speaking, it should be 100. Now, this is where we will check system out. What is the balance? So account dot get balance. Okay. After you write line number 41, go ahead and run the program and tell me what you get as the balance.
I got 0.
I'm getting 1.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's 1, 2 is possible. Where are you getting a 0?
I think I have an issue with my curly braces, and I haven't been able to figure out where I missed one or added an extra one somewhere.
Okay. Can you check again?
I know I messed it up. I haven't been able to find out where exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Look for it again. If you need help, let me know.
I think can you scroll up to your private static class account? And then can you click on the curly brace on there? Yeah, that's where I did it. 1 second, please. Main method not found.
Probably you because of the curly braces. Because it is somehow pushing main method as a body of one of your other methods or classes.
The main method should be under the public class, right?
Right. And notice that
That's-
it should be after the 2 closing curly braces.
Yep, it is.
Okay. Does it give you error anywhere in the code, or it only gives you an error somewhere down below?
It only gives me an error when I run it.
Can you share your screen? Maybe let's have a look at it.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay, account with, oh, here's the, no, hold on a second. Account balance, get balance, deposit, try. Okay, okay. You have an extra curly braces on line 20. Delete line 20 curly brace.
What?
Yeah, that's it. And then let's go down there. Okay, add 1 more curly brace after line 45. Yep, that's it.
All right, thank you.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Everybody else doing okay? Did all of you get to see 1 or 2? Oh, Jack, would you like to share your screen, Jack? Mhm. Oh. Okay, line 37 is a problem. Okay, let's see why line 37 is a problem. Public or private static class, add penny task, implements runnable. Public void run account deposit. Okay. Line 37 for I equals to 1. Oh, I see. Get rid of that curly brace that you have at the end of line 36. At the end of line 36. Yeah, the loop. Yeah. Yeah, and then delete one of the curly braces. Let's delete line 47. Yeah, actually my loop doesn't have a curly brace. So what you were doing was you were running your loop from there all the way down to line 43. as opposed to, there's only one line in the loop, that's line 37. Now run it. And here you go. So based on the performance of your computer, how many tasks it is handling, your outputs will be different. Anybody else needs any assistance? Everybody else got an output? Okay. So why are we running into this problem? Does anybody knows why?
Probably different numbers.
It's not different numbers. It's because the threads are coming and grabbing the resource and then going with it to update its value. So they all came in, like several of them came in and grabbed 0 and went back. The next batch came and also grabbed when it was still 0. They all made it 1 and wrote it back. Another multiple batches came and grabbed it, went back and made it, they all made it a 2. Okay. So nothing was in sync. Or in case of Jack, maybe they came in 4 times and finally it was 4. In my case, 2 batches came and they made it a 2. In maybe somebody else's case, they all grabbed a 0 and they all changed it to 1 at the same time. So they all got 0, so they all changed it to a 1. So that's basically what is wrong with if your threads are not sync. So the solution to the problem is to synchronize your threads. Okay. What do we got to do? Synchronize the threads. Okay, to synchronize the threads, there are 3 possible ways of doing it. And we will be looking at all 3 possible ways. Let's do the first one, account with sync 1. Let's take a look at the first approach. So save your file as account with sync 1. Okay, very easy fix. Go to line number 14. Is this the method all the threads are calling, right? The deposit method. So what we do on line 14 is we synchronize the method. That's it. We say, if the method is in use, wait in line for your turn. That's it. Rerun the program. Cool, isn't it? Nice and sweet solution to the problem. One word is just like one call saves all, right?
Mine is still outputting 1.
Even after putting synchronized in line 14?
Yeah, I put it in.
Okay, let's look at your source code. Go ahead.
Okay.
Share your screen. Okay, scroll down to your main, please. Okay, let's. Oh, on line number 43, you're terminating your loop. That means your loop is only running once. You should remove that semicolon from the end of line 43. So what you were doing, no.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's why, since you are only creating one object, that's why you are getting 1.
I see. Sorry.
Yeah. So save the changes and run it again. Let's make sure. There you
Yeah,
go.
that works. Thank you.
Cool. Awesome. Anybody else?
I saved mine as, and it came back with that error again.
Okay, share your screen. Let's see.
Try to add it back. 1 second. Sorry.
Oh, proceed. Okay, 99. Because you forgot on line 37, it should be less than equals to. Okay, save the changes and run it again. Proceed. Okay, the reason you're having that error message, because look, in your project, you have something called test.java because of that guy. So if there is any class with the main that has an error, it'll just warn you when you try to run it that there's something with an error in your project. Okay. Anybody else? All good? Everybody else caught up? No child left behind? So
You
this
hear me?
was one of the three solutions, okay? This is where we synchronize the resource. Now comes the problem. What if the resource is used by other processes besides the pool of thread? Then that's a problem because you're making everybody wait for the resource. So let's save this one as account with sync 2. So let's drop the word synchronized from line 14.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Jordan can't hear the class anymore.
So again,
But Jordan can't hear the class.
Jordan can't hear. Oh,
He's restarting.
oh, he's restarting them. Okay, okay, cool.
There we go.
Okay, cool.
Not sure
So-
why that happened.
What we did, we saved the account with sync 1 as account with sync 2. That's one thing we did. The second thing we did was on line number 14, we deleted the synchronized keyword because now instead of locking the resource for synchronization purpose, we rather want to synchronize the threads. What if that resource is used by multiple operations? We don't want to lock the resource and make everybody wait. Why not just synchronize the threads? So to synchronize the thread, this is what you got to do. You basically create a code block around the deposit, and you say that I want to synchronize the account object. That's it. So only the object account gets synchronized as opposed to synchronizing the entire method. So instead of synchronizing the method in the class, you're just synchronizing that object that is getting shared. So there may be other objects which are coming to the deposit through other processes. They can do whatever they want to do. It's none of our business. Because again, this is a non-static method, right? So non-static methods work for each object differently. So we don't want to just block the main copy of the static method. We rather want to do it this way. So that's another approach. That's it. Run it, you get the output. Okay. Everybody caught up with this second approach as well? Jack and Victor. Jack. Got it. Let's get an okay from Victor, and Robert Reed also got it, right? Okay. Victor also got it. Okay. Now let's save this up as number 3, account with sync 3. This one is a slightly lengthy approach, the one that I'm about to share with you, but this is the approach with the most power. What we will be doing is we will be using JLF, which is Java Lock Framework. So locks work like sync, but however, they're a little bit more sophisticated.
Did you delete that other sync on
No, I did not make any changes yet.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm still at the top. So I will work my way down. Okay, so what happens, the way things are configured right now is that there are 100 synchronized methods in a class because there are 100 objects running inside each thread. Only one thread can be executed out of these 100 threads, which each have their own synchronized version of a method. Only one of the 100 can run at any given time. So only one thread is allowed to access one method at any given point of time, which makes this operation extremely expensive. Rather, what we want to do is we want to use locks, which avoid this by allowing configuration of various locks for different purposes. So our first step would be to go down in the account class and create a lock. So private static lock, lock equals to new reentrant lock. Let me add a K to the lock. Okay, cool. I'm not done, but I'm waiting to ask a question. How is it possible that the constructor on the right-hand side doesn't matches the class on the left-hand side of equals? Shouldn't it be lock equals to new lock? How is it not erroring out when I write something like this?
Is reentrant lock a child of lock?
Very good. Okay. So reentrant lock has to be a child of lock for this kind of a syntax to work. Reentrant lock is a kind of a lock that allows a thread to access the same resource multiple times. So lock and it can come back, lock and it can come back and access it. Okay. So what we want to do next is this. We come down to deposit. In the deposit method, let me get rid of this logic and this logic. We're going to rebuild this method. Okay. So first of all, as soon as somebody enters the deposit, it locks it. Okay. Then after it locks it, integer new balance equals to balance plus amount. It sleeps for 5 milliseconds. And then the balance is, new balance is written to balance. So what it does, finally, you release the lock at the end of the process. So nobody, I mean, like the locks are not held forever. As soon as you're done, release the lock. As soon as you're done, release the lock. as opposed to holding on to the resource so that everybody is in synchronized fashion. So you're not creating 100 synchronized methods. You just create one lock, which locks like a room. It locks the room and unlocks it when it's done. So less expensive that way. Again, we're not done. This is only the changes in the account class. And down in the add penny, you do not need the synchronized block. So make sure the run method inside add penny task is back to the way it was before. So make the changes in the run
Hear
method.
you.
So again,
Yeah, I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, you're lagging and we couldn't hear you.
oh. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, your camera keeps freezing and you kind of sound distorted.
Oh, okay. Hold on a second. Okay. Is it any better or no?
Can't
Yeah, you
even
s-
see it.
No, I know. I turn off my camera. Maybe it was taking the part of frequency. I'm like, bandwidth.
You sound fine.
I sound fine?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. So what I said was when did this whole thing started that you guys couldn't hear me properly?
It was right before, right when you went down to this line
Okay.
before you
So what-
deleted anything.
Yeah. So what I was saying was that in the run method, get rid of those extra lines of synchronization that we wrote before. So bring your run in the format that it is right now. And run your application. You should still get the same output. Okay. Did everybody get the output? Okay. So let me clear the feedbacks and give me a green check if you are not done. Awesome. So it looks like everybody is done. Okay. So now, guys, let's take a break here till 7:40. When we come back at 7:40, we'll be looking at a very interesting example with multiple threads. So I will create 2 threads that will go about accessing resources. And we will be doing some account management such that one thread will deposit and then we will have the withdrawal operation. And the withdrawal cannot take place until we have enough amount deposited. So if we do not have the enough amount deposited, the withdrawal thread has to wait and has to keep waiting till it has enough money to withdraw. You know what I'm saying? So we will be coordinating between the two threads in such a way, and we will be learning how you can make threads wait while other threads are processing. Will be a very interesting way. And we will, again, be using locks, and we'll be using lock conditions. So that's why this kind of stuff can't be done with the simple synchronization process. Anyway, so we'll be back in at 7:40, and I'll see you guys then with an interesting example. Okay, so let me share my screen again. And as I told you, the problem that we'll be solving after the break is the problem that we'll be looking at now. We'll call this class thread cooperation. Again, we'll be using a simple main method, console-based application. I'm copying some of the code from the previous example. So I made some modifications to the account class that we were working with before. So you can, and then I copy pasted most of the code from the previous example. Again, let me know when you guys are caught up with this. Then we'll start to make some more changes. Oh, there it is. Oh, that is so cute. He's so cute.
Knows what she wants now.
He's okay.
She usually goes to bed around this time, so she's kind of throwing a fit that she's not.
So I mean, like, does she sleeps down here in the down the basement?
No, this is actually her first week coming down here on her own.
Oh,
She used to be terrified of walking down the stairs and coming down here.
oh, probably because you're here. She feels a little better.
Yeah, maybe. I
Yeah.
think she got really anxious like a week ago. Like she was going back and forth in the house, and I opened up the basement door, and then she just hung out down here, and she's just been in and out now, nonstop.
Exploring. Yeah, so she only comes this far and then goes back.
Yeah, she kind of pops down, see what I'm doing, and then all right, I'm going back upstairs.
Yeah. Have you figured out what she wants by now?
No, probably just to play.
Just
We
play.
went and ran around on break.
Okay. Oh, okay. Drink. Oh, okay.
Yeah, she got it out of her system for now at least.
Cool. Okay. So now that we have created a lock, as I told you that we will be creating a condition on the lock. And that's what I did on line number 9. I created a condition object, and this will hold a lock condition. So this is where we will be using the lock condition. As we make a deposit, while we are making a deposit, remember I told you before we went on break that there is another thread that is looking to withdraw. And it can only withdraw if there is enough amount available to withdraw. So what the new deposit condition will do is the new deposit condition will signal all the waiting threads to come and check to make sure whatever your condition is. So it's just sending a signal to all the waiting people. Hey, come on, you are free to come in and check. That's what it does, okay? So what we would like to do different between signaling and depositing, we want to actually display how much amount is deposited and what is the current value for the balance. Okay. So we are displaying that information over here. This is only the deposit method. We also need to write another method called withdraw that will be responsible for withdrawing the amount. But I will let you guys notify me that you are done with all this code that we have written this far, and then we will proceed with the other method. That's my deposit method. Oops. Starts. It ends here. And then comes my withdraw method. Oh, I should have put in one more curly brace. Yeah, this is for class account closing curly brace. Just want to make sure my curly braces are all aligned.
The ends curly brace, that's for the deposit, public void deposit.
This is for the main class. This is for the class, the thread cooperation class. Class closing. This is main closing. This is deposit closing. I haven't created the withdraw method yet, so it'll have its own closing. So for now, I am copying my deposit method. Okay. Oops. I'm copying my deposit method and I'm posting the same method under withdraw. And I'll change the method name to withdraw. So I just copied the entire deposit method, which was this one, and I pasted it right below and changed the name to withdraw. And I'll be making some more changes inside, especially in the try block. So now this is where we got to run a loop. As long as balance is less than the amount that you're trying to withdraw, as long as balance is less than withdrawal, wait. That's what this loop will do, okay? So it is pretty much saying wait for a deposit, and then this await method on the condition, new deposit was a condition on the lock, right? So this await method will then wait until the new deposit says signal all. They come and check the balance now, kind of a deal. So it'll be a coordination back and forth between lines 21 and 33. Okay. So once I'm out of the loop, I'm sure of the fact that now I have a balance that is more than or at least equals to withdrawal. So I can now subtract the value of balance by the value of amount that I am withdrawing. And after that, I will be in a position to say how much amount was withdrawn and what is the remaining balance after the withdrawal. So this should be withdraw, closing curly brace. Again, let me know when you guys are done with the withdraw method. Then we will resume with the rest of the code.
You
So
haven't ran anything yet, right?
no errors yet, and we're not done yet. So don't run anything. We're just still building. We just built the account class. The account class job would be that when thread comes in, one thread can deposit, the other can withdraw. And the withdraw and the deposit will back and forth coordinate the job with the condition object, which is new deposit. And the condition is locked inside a loop. As long as the balance is less than amount, the condition will force this thread, which is calling withdraw, to wait till it receives the signal all from the other thread, which will then make line 31 run again for the balance check. If the loop fails on the next check, then it'll jump to line 35. So, okay, so Victor and Jack Lear are the only two that I'm waiting. And Robert Reed also, okay. Robert and Victor.
Robert asked if they could see where new deposit was declared. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, new deposit was declared, Robert, on line number 9. The condition object, right after the lock. Okay, Victor, how about you? Do you have any questions? Are you stuck? Still coding?
Kind of stuck.
Where are you stuck?
Um, I'm getting an error
On where?
on your line 36.
What is the error when you hover over?
Missing insert court
Missing what?
and insert quote.
Okay, check your double quotes. Are all your double quotes in place? Do you have pluses in the correct places? The concatenations? Check the syntax.
Yeah.
Okay, can you share your screen? Let's have a look at it. Sometimes there are little things that are easy to miss. Oh, you have an
Oh.
extra slash after the T. The second T, get rid of the extra slash after the T. That's it. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, you need another closing curly braces after line 35. Okay, hold on a second. Go between the two curly braces and press enter. Enter again. Okay, go to line number 36. Okay, you're missing 2 lines. I will share my screen with you and then you can put those 2 lines there. Okay, so these are the 2 lines you're missing. Lines 35 and 36. Okay. That should take care of the problem. Let me know with a green check, Victor, when you're done. Okay, awesome. Okay, guys, let's go down outside of the class account closing. And this is where I am bringing the 2 lines that I already typed in my previous example, where we created an instance of the account class. Okay. Once you create an instance of the account class, then let's copy this whole add penny task and paste that down below. I'm changing the name of add penny task to deposit task. That's the name of my new class, deposit task. Implements runnable. It still has a run method. Okay. But we will do something different here. We'll put this in a try catch block. And what I want to do is I want the deposit activity to not just deposit one all the time. Rather, I want it to deposit some random amount all the time. So math.random multiplied by 10 plus 1. Okay, so it just generates some kind of a random amount. And then thread.sleep for 1 second. Sleep for 1 second. Okay, so I want to deposit and I want it to sleep. Why do I want it to sleep? Because I want then the withdrawal to happen while it's sleeping. So I can really see that my withdrawal thread is waiting for the next deposit. The withdrawal thread, I will not going to make the withdrawal thread sleep. I'm only making the deposit thread sleep. So this thread class is only responsible for withdrawal, for deposits. For deposits is only responsible for deposits.
Where is deposit declared at an account for the dot deposit?
What?
I'm
Oh,
getting it.
Here. Remember, the ACT is an object of account type, and account class has the deposit method and the withdraw method.
I'm getting an error. It says deposit.
Go back to your account class. What is the method that you declared after get balance?
Public void deposit.
Okay. And then you have the withdraw method. You have two methods in the account class.
Yep. And
Okay.
withdraw.
And then you have the account class object declared on line 45 or whatever that line is for you.
Yep.
Okay. And then why is it giving me an error here? Interrupted exception. Oh.
You're missing a U, or are you? No.
You're right. I misspelled interrupted. Okay. Okay. Go ahead, share your screen. Let me have a look at it. Let's see what's going on.
It's always one simple thing you miss.
Yeah, it can happen, you know. I mean, like we're doing so many things, we're just going back and forth so many places, so it's quite possible something crazy. Can you scroll up for me just a minute? Oh, okay, scroll down. Scroll down. Oh, yeah, you have a syntax problem there. Go, I'll share with you my screen now.
Okay.
Okay. Well, you know what? You never wrote the parentheses I have around this whole operation.
Oh,
Okay, that's it. So you're probably you're telling it that I'm passing you an int data type as a parameter. That's why it's complaining that there is no match.
see. Yeah, I even checked for the parentheses. Just missed that outer one. Thank you.
Okay. Is it okay to create an infinite loop?
If you're doing it on purpose.
Yeah, even if you are doing it on purpose, is it okay to do it?
Yeah.
Okay, but you guys have done it so many times, it usually kills the operation and you guys have to terminate the application, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? What's the reason? Because the reason is that you are trying to make your primary thread go infinite. And the system doesn't like that. But deposit task is not my primary thread. Who's my primary thread? Main. I can't have an infinite loop in my primary thread. But if it's a secondary thread that is controlled by the main, I can create an infinite loop. And it will not yell back. It'll let me do it. Because it knows if main goes down, this also goes down with the main. So you can have infinite loops, provided they're not in the main thread. Okay, why did I even create an infinite loop? Because I want not one-time deposit, I want constant deposits. I want this application to run forever. I just want to constantly keep depositing after every 1 second. Till the user says, I don't want to run this application anymore and hit the red box. Otherwise, this application is meant to run continuously. Everybody with me so far? Give me a green check when everybody's done up till this point, because then I will create my withdrawal class. Okay, cool. Now let's copy everything from line number 47 down to line number 59. This whole thing, this thread class is responsible, and paste it above the main. And I have another class now, which I'll say that this thread class is responsible for withdrawals, okay? And the name of this class will be withdraw task. So this class is responsible for withdrawing, withdraw task, okay? You'll have a run method, but this one, I don't want to sleep. I do not want to make this one sleep, so I'm just removing the try catch block. Okay. So no sleeping business. Okay. Now, instead of calling the deposit, I want to call the withdraw in this one. Okay. So withdraw using random amount. Or here, I am deposit using random amount. Or I'll just say deposit random amount using this extra random amount. And here we have withdraw random amount. Let me clear everybody's feedback for you to give me new feedbacks when you're caught up with withdraw task. Okay, I'm waiting for Victor. Okay. Okay, awesome. Now in the main method, I'm copying this stuff from our previous example, executor service, executor class, executors dot. Remember what we used in our previous example? we said executors.new cached thread pool, right? I will use new fixed thread pool because I only want to create 2 threads. I want to create one withdrawal thread and one deposit thread. So I do not need a pool. I just need 2 threads. And executor dot execute, I will create a deposit task thread, and I will create a withdraw task thread. So those are the only 2 threads I'm creating. And just like previous example, we will just shut down the threads when they're done. And then those are the column headings that we'll go with, line 79. Okay, so both threads are meant to run forever. That's how it is, because they both have an infinite loop. So I will clear your feedbacks. You got to give me a new feedback when you're done with this main method. So just waiting for Cole and Victor. Any questions, Cole?
Almost done with the with it. I just have one more line.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. So as you guys can see that I have an executor service with 2 threads to run. That's about it. I'm forcing it to only allow 2 threads. One thread is of deposit task type and another thread is of withdraw task type. Okay. Now let me hit the start button. Just watch my screen here. Okay. I will start my threads and I'm gonna just run it for a few seconds and then I'll stop it. So I stopped it. Okay. Now look at it. First of all, the deposit ran, that's line 76, and it deposited a random amount of $7. Then I see wait for deposit. What does that mean? That means probably the withdrawal came up with a number that was greater than 7. So I'm instructing it to wait. Okay, so withdrawal, then deposit made $2 of deposit. So the total became what? 9, right? And now it will wait for the deposit again, because it is probably looking to withdraw something greater than 9. So then deposit 8. What is 8 plus 9? 17. So that's the total amount. Now I know that withdrawal actually wanted to withdraw $10. So that's why it had to wait till it has enough amount to withdraw. Once it withdraws 10, 7 was left. Then probably withdrawal came again and is now wanting to withdraw an amount more than 7. So I made another deposit of 1. And so now the total amount is 8. Looks like withdrawal wanted 8. So that's remaining balance is 0. Now I got to wait for deposit. I deposit 5. There was a withdrawal of 3. Leftover was 2. The next withdrawal was of 2. There was enough amount, so it didn't have to wait. It withdraw the 0 to 0 is left. Do you guys get the point of how it's going back and forth?
Yeah.
So that's what we are doing between the two classes. Same resource, just shared.
Mine just doesn't deposit, or it doesn't withdraw, I mean. It deposits, waits for a deposit, and repeat.
Can you share your screen?
Yep.
Scroll down to the main. Even a deposit task and a withdraw task with 2 objects. Okay. In the withdraw task, implement runnable, run. In the run method, you're running an infinite loop. Account dot withdraw. You're withdrawing an amount. Okay, can you scroll back up to the account class? Not that much. Okay, just wait. Here, right here. Okay. Just a little bit down. Just scroll down just a bit. Yep, wait here. Yep, let me check something. So your withdraw is accepting an amount, applying a lock. If balance is less than amount, display that wait for the deposit, and the condition should await, and then should subtract the amount from the balance. Oh, you're missing an output instruction. Line 38. Go to your line 44. Sorry, go to your line 44. Okay, I will share my screen now, and I'll tell you what you're missing. So it is doing everything, it's just like not displaying it. So you're missing this line, which is supposed to tell you that the withdrawal has taken place. And this is the amount left over. Okay. Anybody else having any problems? Jack Lear. Okay. Mine stops after first deposit. Okay. Probably, Jack, I think the problem would be that I will let Jordan finish this line, then I'll tell you where the problem may be.
I got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
So check your deposit task. Do you have inside your try catch block, do you have this infinite loop around the deposit and the sleep? So that is making multiple deposits, continuous deposits, that loop. Okay. Okay, awesome. Anybody else having any issues? Okay. Okay, that means everybody got it. Cool. That's good. Now let's go into Java network programming a little bit. So I will create a new class called identify host info. And we will take help from inet address, which is a Java built-in class, to which you can actually provide the URL of a website, and it can tell you some details about that website, such as, oh, I got to throws an exception. Hover over and throws unknown exception host on the line of the main to take care of this error. Oops. Host name. And host IP. And here you go. It tells you the name of the host, and it tells you the IP address of the host. And try with some other hosts, try with some other websites. So see how easy it is to figure out an IP address of a host right from your code. Got it? Okay. Still have a few people maybe working on it still. We'll wait for Cole, Robert, and Victor to give us a go. Cole got it. Okay. Victor got it. Okay. Robert. Okay. Now let's add to this a string. We can use the built-in URL class and give our URL as a string to the URL class, as opposed to working with the INET address. Again, URL requires a malformed exception. So just hover over and see how it can add multiple throws on the line of the main. Okay, once you guys are done writing these two lines, open up a web browser. And go to Gateway's homepage. Open up a web browser and go to Gateway's homepage. From there, go to Programs. Okay. Then scroll down to IT Software Developer. Then scroll down to Program Courses and click on a PDF document. All I wanted was a nice long URL. That's why I came all the way down here. When you get this far, copy the URL and paste it inside the str. It'll be one long string. Don't worry about how long it is. Okay. So I just wanted a long string to work with. That's about it. So what I want to do next is I want to start reading different parts of this URL. For example, what is the URL's protocol? So I can actually go to URL and say, okay, I need to get your protocol. And I need to get your port number. I can also do that. URL port. So URL dot get port. See? Oh, hold on a second. Oh, hold on a second. Let me get the default port. Here we go. Okay. So Gateway's website is actually listening on port number 443. And the URL is, the protocol is HTTPS, and the port is that. Now I need to know the URL host. So dot get host. So you can see that the host is gtc.edu. So you can come in through an INET address, but INET address doesn't go in that much detail as URL goes. Similarly, I can say, okay, you know what? I need to get the URL file portion. So URL dot get file. So as you can see, it just gives me the whole file portion, which is everything but host. Okay. Then get me query portion. Query portion. So URL dot get query. So what does that do? Oh, hold on a second. It currently has no query portion. Oh, it doesn't. This URL doesn't have the query portion. That's what's coming back. Oh, as null. The queries are those parameters that you pass. For that, let's do this. Instead of coming to Gateway, let's go to Google and do a search. Gateway Technical College. Let's do a search. Grab the URL of the search result of Google and paste that. Oops. And then run this again. Here you go. You can see the query portion. Well, you have the variables and the values. So it can actually grab the whole query portion of a URL. So given a URL, it can just work its magic. Interesting, isn't it?
That's pretty cool. You can find all that out.
Yep. So think about a Java application that is getting its feed from the web, or it's getting its feed from customer who is accessing this from a browser. And you're going to get to learn so much about it, or a web server visiting your web server, and you can just get the information about that. As to what is the name of that web server, where the traffic is coming from, the port number, the URL, and the whole 9 yards. And you could be building your data set as to where the traffic is coming from on our site. On line number 14. Okay. Jack Lear, check line number 8. Do you have malform URL exception on line 8 after unknown host exception? Okay, cool. Okay, everybody got this correct? Can you please give me a check or a thumbs up so that we can move on to our next example here? Still waiting for Cole, Oscar. Okay. Oscar? Okay, got it. Awesome. Now, something very, very cool is what I'm about to share with you next. So let's create our next class as Java URL 1, public static void main. So again, I will create a URL object, but this time the URL object, instead of first storing the data inside a string, I could directly type the string here, provided I also include the protocol. And then I have to throw a malformed URL exception in the line of the main. Once I do that, I could create a URL connection object. So what am I doing here? I am trying to open a stream of connection to this host. So as I hover over an open connection, it tells me, and it replaces my previous exception with the IO exception. Now, as I start my streaming process, now let's read some connection properties. Connection type. Content type. Content length. Con dot get content length, and this will be in bytes. Now run that. Okay. So as you run this example, so far, I have not yet shown you the cool stuff that I'm about to show you next. So far, you will be able to see that we are able to establish a connection with Gateway's homepage. And then we are able to read from the homepage that this homepage supports text and HTML code and has a character set of UTF-8. And then we were also able to read the size of the homepage file. Give me a thumbs up when everybody's done with this stuff. So this is an indicator that I am able to establish a connection and I'm able to even see the content size. So I'm able to bring the content over and be able to check how much content is there. So we'll wait for Jordan, Robert, and Victor to give us a go. And then we will move on to the next step of the same example.
I was getting a weird error, and I had to add a slash after edu for it to go away.
It's strange.
I was it was gtc.open connection, but just the GTC was saying not defined until I added a slash after edu.
That's strange. And you still have throws IO exception in the line of the main.
Say again? Yeah, I have throws IO exception.
Okay. And then the
I
rest.
get the exact same output as you.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, let's wait. Victor, let me know when you're done. Okay, cool. Now let's move on to the next step here. You know what I want to do? I want to read the source code of the homepage of Gateway. Will be cool, right? Being able to read the entire source code and bring it into my application. Buffered reader. So I want to be able to buffer the incoming data. New buffered reader. Okay, new input stream reader. Now, this is what I was talking about earlier, creating an unnamed instance, right? So I'm creating an unnamed instance of input reader, input stream reader, so that I can use my connection object to get the entire input stream and tunnel that into my input stream reader. From there, tunnel that into my buffered reader. Oops, misspelled buffered. You see the process here? Get the input stream from the connection object, from the URL connection object, from the URL connection object into an unnamed input stream reader object. From there, tunnel that into a buffered reader. Now, I am declaring a string object so that I can bring in line by line the source code and display that, okay? While line equals to input dot read line not equals to null. So basically what it is doing is keep reading line by line from input into line till the read line returns a null. That means when you run out of the values. Okay. And then when done reading, close the stream, which is input dot close. And guys, run this example and check the output. Isn't it neat what you're seeing over here? How many lines? Maybe like 6, 7 lines. If you take away lines 14 and 15, all I need is lines 10, 11, 20 through 27. So that's like 8, 10 lines, 10 lines, and you are reading the entire source code of any page on the internet, and you're bringing it in.
And it's fairly simple for all the output you can get.
Yep, because all you're doing is you're tapping into the connection and you're bringing in the data, and then you're throwing it out on the screen. So think about it. The sophisticated code hackers would have to create a website on the fly that looks like an original. All they need is a directory structure. Write a Java code that goes through the directory structure, bring all the code over, produce something on a fake URL.
I'm gonna make a gateway copy.
Okay, let me clear the feedback here. If you guys can give me new feedback when you're done with this code and can see the output. Okay, just waiting for Victor.
Can I share my screen?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Go ahead. Okay. Oh, hover over on line 11. Okay, now, okay, it's not giving me option. Okay, go back to line number 9. Replace the word malformed and URL. Delete the words malformed and URL. Okay, type before the letter E, type IO. Uppercase I, uppercase O. IO exception. Okay, so you just had the wrong throw. Now organize your imports. And you're good to go. Run it. Let's make sure. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, guys. I am now putting you guys in a breakout room. So each breakout room will have 2 or 3 people up. What you will do is you will take this example, and instead of displaying the output in the console, you will save this in a file, an HTML file on the local computer. So let me share my screen with you all. As you can see on my screen over here, that I have got a buffered writer class, and I am passing an unnamed instance of file writer, which I called homepage.html. And then inside the loop, all I did was I changed the system.out.println to buffered writer.write, and I am writing the line to my file instead of writing it to the console. As a result, it will add all of that data into the actual file. And then I'm closing my buffered writer. And as I refresh my output here, I can see homepage.html. And as I double click on this link, see, I am generating the entire gateway's homepage but from my personal computer. Okay, all of these images, everything loads. Why? Because on the home page, when I copied everything over, it just gave me the entire URLs of where the files are. The only difference is that now my page is locked into whatever content I copied over. If Gateway decide to update their homepage tomorrow, I won't have that. I'm still working with my local one, which I copied over. So if I click on any of these links, you know, they will not going to work because I did not copy. So anybody who is trying to do that stuff will actually copy everything over and will restructure their website so that it may look like that you are on this website, but you're actually on their website. Crazy stuff. Dangerous stuff too.
We're all gonna be professional hackers after this.
I don't know about that. Anyway, having said that, we're going to stop here. How about that? Good point to stop. What I'm planning on doing next time, I will continue with Java network programming next time. What I'm going to do next time is I want to create client and a server application so that we can see how you can communicate between two instances of the program running simultaneously. And those two instances could be running on a network or could be running on the same computer, because we will be making them talk to each other on an IP address, and then we will open different ports and then they will communicate on those ports. Cool stuff. Very neat stuff. You know, you can take this to the next level and create a messenger service. You can create an online chatting service. You can, you know, take it to a gaming level and make people play a game on the network that can, you know. So we'll just do it at the basic level, and then, you know, the implementations are endless.
Thank you for your time today.
No problem. Now, what I would like you to do is go to the unit 4. And in the unit 4, you will find that you have a new quiz called quiz number 3, and you have a new assignment. Okay. The assignment is very similar to an in-class example that we did. You're writing a program that launches 1,000 threads. Each thread adds 1 to a variable sum that initially is 0. Define an integer wrapper object to hold the sum. Run the program with and without synchronization to see its effect. And then you turn in both source codes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Should be doable in fairly quick time. But anyway, so that's all for today, guys, and I'll see you guys next week. Stop the recording.
You have a good week. I'm gonna figure out. I gotta go on a scavenger hunt for my microphone.